Good morning, everyone. My name is Vibhuti Gulhane, and I'm here along with my group members Krishnendu, Jassica, Amrutha, and Jishnu. Together, we are excited to present our research project titled Bridging the Digital Divide Evaluating UPI in Rural India. In today's world, digital payments have become a major part of everyday life. One of the biggest breakthroughs in India's digital finance system has been the introduction of Unified Payment Interface or UPI. It has made sending and receiving money easier, faster, and more secure. However, while UPI has been great success in cities, rural parts of India are still struggling to keep up. Our project looks into why the gap exists. We focused on factors like financial literacy, internet connectivity, and social influence in rural areas. The aim of our study is to understand the challenges and also come up with ideas and suggestions that can help improve UPI usage in villages and small towns. Through this presentation, we will walk you through our research findings, some real data trends, and policy recommendations that can help bridge this digital gap and support better financial inclusion for everyone. From now here, I'm passing this to my another group member, Krishnendu. Please go ahead.
Today I'm talking about a research framework. First one is identifying the gap. Most exciting studies focus on how UPI is being used in urban India, but rural regions have very different challenge, like low financial literacy, poor internet, and lack of trust in digital systems. This study fills that gap by investigating UPI adoption in rural areas where digital inclusion is still lagging. Second one, focus area of the study, social economic factors. We explore how factors like income, education level, and access to bank affect UPI usage. Financial inclusion. The study examines how UPI helps underserved individuals and small businesses gain access to financial services, which is crucial for rural empowerment. Third one is research hypothesis, financial literacy, internet connectivity, and social influence. Financial literacy means higher financial literacy leads to higher UPI adoption. Second one, internet connectivity. That means poor connectivity hinders UPI users. Third, social influence means people are more likely to adopt UPI if friends, family, or community leaders encourage it. Fourth one, research objectives to understand how financial literacy drives digital payment use, to evaluate the impact of internet access and word of by the key barriers, economic, infrastructural, and socio-cultural that slow down adoption. And the fifth one is theoretical framework. Technology adoption models, TAM and UTAUT explain how people decide whether teach is useful and easy to use. Financial inclusion and innovation theories, DOI and financial inclusion theory show UPI spreads and serves the unbanked. Behavioral and trust theories, prospect theory and trust theory explore how people weight risk and trust digital tools.
Let's begin with the hypothesis that guide our study. We formulated three main hypotheses based on the core barriers and enable of digital adoption in rural areas. First, financial literacy. We hypothesize the rural individual with a higher level of financial literacy are more likely to adopt UPI as they better understand the benefit and risk of digital transactions. Second, internet connectivity. Our second hypothesis is the poor internet connectivity in rural region negatively impact UPI adoptions. Limited access to reliable data can prevent people from even trying digital payments. The last one is social influence. And finally, we believe that social influence from peers, family, and community leaders significantly encourage people in rural area to adopt UPI. Now, let's move on to the objective of our research. First one is understanding financial derives. Our first objective is to evaluate the connection between financial literacy and UPI adoption in rural communities. Can better financial understanding lead to more usage? Second one is quantifying connectivity and influence. We aim to measure how internet availability and word of mouth influence impact decision to use UPI at a grassroots level. The last one, identifying key challenges. We seek to identify the principal barriers like economics, infrastructural, and social culture that prevent wider UPI adoption in rural area, like in rural India. So these hypotheses and objectives, our whole is offer a clearer understanding of the real world dynamic at play in a rural adoption. Ultimately, we hope this research contribute to more inclusive digital growth and financial employment in India. Thank you, and I will now hand it over to the next partner, Jishnu.
My name is Jishnu Mohanan, and today I will be presenting on the topic adoption of UPI in India. In this presentation, I will first walk you through the theoretical framework that help us understand how users adopt UPI in India. Then I will present real-world transaction trend to show the rapid growth and impact of UPI across India. Let's begin with the theoretical foundation. The theoretical framework understanding UPI adoption. To understand how and why people adopt UPI, we are going to explore the three main perspectives. The first one is the technological adoption theories. Technological adoption theory is a technology accepted model, which is TAM, explains that users adopt UPI when they find it both useful and easy to use. The Unified Theory of Acceptance and the Use of Technology, UTAUT, built on this by adding social influence and facilitating conditions like internet access or smartphone usage. Together, these theories tell us that people are more likely to use UPI if it helps them perform better and if their periods or environment support it. The second one is the financial inclusion and economic theory. Diffusion of innovation (DOI) theory explained how technologies spread from early adopter to the mainstream. UPI followed a similar path. Also, financial inclusion theory shows that UPI plays a key role in the reaching people who don't have access to the traditional banking, especially in rural areas. It helps bridge the gap by offering easy and low cost access to the financial services. The third one is a trust and behavioral economics theory, which is the final theory. The trust theory highlights how security and reliability affect user decisions. If people trust that UPI transactions are safe, they will use it more. Prospect prospect theory from the behavior economic explain how people weigh risk and benefits. If UPI is seen as more beneficial and convenient than risk, users are likely to adopt it quickly. UPI transaction trend growth and insights. Now that we have seen the theory behind adoption, let's look at the actual data. 12 billion transactions in December 2023. India recorded over 12 billion UPI transactions, a record-breaking number. This indicates how deeply embedded UPI has become in daily life, from groceries to government service. 18.23 trillion transaction value. The total transaction value was over 18.23 trillion, showing the UPI is not only used frequently but also for large payments. This level of trust and usage demonstrate the maturity of the platform. 88% R-square value. The R-square value of 88% shows a strong positive relationship between UPI adoption and the growth in the digital transactions. This means that as more people use UPI, overall digital payment volumes are increasing as well, proving the success of the digital initiative. The graph analysis. Look at the bar chart. We can clearly see how UPI volume has grown steadily from 2016 to 2025. This this reflects improved technology access, government support, and rising user confidence over time.
Let's now look at how we can enhance UPI's adoption in rural India through practical and inclusive policies. First, we need to expand infrastructure, especially internet, mobile networks. Many rural areas still face unstable connectivity. Without reliable internet, using UPI becomes frustrating. Prioritizing last mile connectivity will help make digital payments smoother and more accessible. Second, we must focus on digital literacy. Programs like Disha have been impactful, but they need to be expanded. Using visual aids, regional languages, peer-to-peer learning methods can make digital tools easier for everyone to understand, especially for first-time users and seniors. Thirdly, we should support offline capabilities such as UPI 123 Pay, which allows users to make payments via SMS or USSD codes. It is a game changer for people without smartphones or stable data. Making these tools widely available and training people to use them can drastically improve rural adoption. Together, these strategies form a foundation of an inclusive digital ecosystem that empowers all communities, regardless of their geography or income. To conclude, UPI has made a huge contribution to India's financial system, but its full potential in rural India is still untapped. Bridging this gap is not just about adding technology, it requires a holistic approach. We need to combine policy action, infrastructure development, and behavioral change to ensure no community is left behind. Our study highlights how barriers like poor connectivity, low digital literacy, or lack of trust impact UPI adoption in rural regions. But we also see strong potential, especially among younger users and through community-based influence. That said, it's important to acknowledge our limitations. This research relied on secondary data, and while it provides key insights, future work should include primary surveys to capture more nuanced, real-world perspectives from rural users themselves. Still, what's clear is that the right strategies can help rural India shift from being undeserved to fully empowered in country's digital revolution. Thank you.